Hello, Chris. How are you?
Good. Good, I'm good.
Awesome. Where did you come from?
I came from the Philippines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
About 30 plus hours. It took a while to get here.
You guys did a heck of a trip. So we're live on the live stream right now. There's people watching. We're just starting to bring people in. You already did the formal presentation. You did the hard part. This is the fun part.
Okay.
This is informal. So for people who might just be catching the live stream now, why don't you tell them a little bit about sort of Dbuzz is so much more than it started out.
Yes,
Before
yes,
it was just short form content, and now you've got big plans. So maybe kind of tell people about what you're building.
Well, what we're going to do, we now have pretty much our original vision of a very intuitive, minimalistic, and user-friendly interface, both for mobile and for desktop. The next phase, or one of the next phases, we have a lot of phases in different directions that we're doing.
Just down a little bit.
Okay.
No, it's okay.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
weird because we can't hear ourselves on these microphones,
Okay.
but they can hear us. I was
Oh,
doing this
sorry.
earlier,
Okay.
but we're right off the side of the stage. So if we look a little weird, it's because we're here, but everybody's over there. So I try to explain to them
Got
because
it,
they
got it.
only see a little piece of what's
Yeah.
happening from the presentation. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, so the next thing, we're going to be finishing our long form content platform.
Yeah.
And in the same way that Dbuzz, the typical Dbuzz that you know, the short form platform, in the same way that it was modeled after Twitter, basically not in terms of their product, but in terms of the layout.
Yes.
We're going to be modeling our long form platform in terms of the layout after Medium.
Oh, okay,
There's going
yeah.
to be some key differences, but one of the things about our team is we're very interested, open, and willing to hear constructive criticism.
Yeah,
so
good for you.
everything that the other platforms, which are our friends, I love PeakD, Hive.blog, Ascensi, but if there's anything that they're not yet meeting,
That's
we
where you
are
guys wanna do
interested
it.
in meeting it in blog.d.buzz, which is good for everybody.
Yeah.
It's also good for their platforms.
It is. And actually, I really like the idea. I know it's not always popular in our space, but I like the idea of replicating familiar front ends from Web 2 because people know how to use them. But also, these are companies that spent so much money trying to learn what looks good, what works well.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah, they did the work. So
They invented the wheel.
it stands to reason that you can use some of that information yourself and not have to respend the money. So I think it's very clever. It's good to see. And yeah, Medium's a tricky space. I'm always surprised that it still exists because how do people choose to post there when they have Web3 options? So it's time. We got to go attack that audience.
Well, one of the things that I was told, this was from a Dbuzz user that said this, I just forgot who. It might have been someone at this event, but what they said, the power of Medium is that it emails your subscribers. We don't have that on Hive.blog. We don't have that on PeakD. We don't have that on Ascensi. So somehow we're going to need to integrate where if users would like to subscribe by email, they can.
And that, you know what, that makes sense. Now that you say that, sure, that clicks. So obviously, you guys know on the live stream, you guys are all decentralized people. You don't want to give your email address away, and you don't need to make a Hive account.
Yes.
But Chris is right. This is something that
Opt-in,
people,
opt-in.
yes, opt in. And we obviously have businesses that are building that are going both ways. They do the fully decentralized or open source backend, but then you build some features that are specific to your business that are centralized, and that's okay. It's okay to build parts of your tool set using existing, I don't know what you want to call it, centralized tools. That's how you build a good business. It's protecting your customer and giving them choices. That opt-in, that voluntary thing, that's it. That's the key.
This
So,
is
interesting.
This is in another direction, and I haven't checked this lately, and I didn't use torrents that much,
Yes.
but I was aware of it. And they had the Pirate Bay.
Yes.
And the interesting thing is that no matter how hard they attacked the Pirate Bay, it was still there.
Yeah.
Not under the same domain.
Doesn't
but
matter.
People will just throw it up. So I'm interested in making Dbuzz a movement.
Yes.
Where no matter what gets taken down, it's still there.
Yes.
It's still there.
Preaching. And that's really interesting. And I'm trying to remember, we were talking about it a little bit yesterday. I think Disregard Fiat brought it up because that's a really interesting thing. Now, we're of an age where we remember, like, LimeWire, Kazaa, Napster. And he brought this up too. You had to trust back then. There was no verify, only trust. And it would be like a 50% to like 20% chance that you were getting the song you thought you were. And everything else was like, oh, my computer is nuked. Oop, that's a Trojan. Oop, like antivirus warning goes off. So one of the things that I think would be really interesting is Hive obviously has sort of a feedback mechanism in that we know each other. Reputation is something that we keep an eye on. And even though I may not know you as Chris, here's your government ID, I know you as Chris Rice. I know what you've built on chain. I know who your friends are. So for you to post or share a torrent, I know it's very unlikely that you're going to share something malicious because it affects your whole reputation. So that's a really interesting direction to move in on Hive, because one of the biggest things that we do have is all of the sort of incentives that come along with having a reputation. And how that could change the way that we approach like torrents or storing files.
And the way that users on Hive monetize their reputation, not only financially but in many other ways, even in terms of enjoyment. It's monetized in enjoyment. But this is no different from traditional business. It's not the cheapest product that makes money, it's the brand. Brands make money, cheap products don't.
Very true.
So, as Hive users, our username is our brand. And in the same way that a politician, let's say President Obama or President Trump, can lift up someone's hand and then they get elected, in the same way brands, our usernames, we can endorse a product, and it doesn't mean it gets full support, but it doesn't have to start from zero. So our brands, our usernames, our goodwill, our character and ethics, it's worth a lot on Hive.
I agree. I mean, I can't say it much better, but this is something when I go out and I talk a lot, it's one of those things, it's changing people's way of thinking. Is everything you do is valuable, and value doesn't only have to be measured in fiat or cryptocurrency. It's helpful. It's a good way for us to contextualize value, but a relationship, some form of interaction, or all this information that's stored behind our usernames, it's all value. It's all value. So I mean, fantastic. So that's cool. So you've got file sharing, you've got long form content. That's a lot coming down the pipe.
Yeah, there's a lot more, but I don't think we have enough time to cover everything.
Well, it's cool because Nathan is on stage. Nathan is on stage right now talking about some more of what you guys are working on, or sort of the back end infrastructure. And the only problem, I love doing the live streaming, but I miss all the presentations. So I didn't get to watch your actual. Okay. So I go home after all the live streams and then I rewatch what everybody talked about. But I get to talk to you right after you give the presentation. And I heard you were talking a little bit about you had some educational work that you were doing, and also kind of how you guys are taking over the Philippines. Like, I mean, honestly, radio, newspaper, TV. You guys are everywhere. So how's that going for you?
It's going well, and this goes to building reputation off chain. Because on chain we have our own reputation, but in the real world it's the same. So when people see us giving more value than we take, that's consistently building reputation. And that's ultimately one of my life strategies. Is I don't look for a one-to-one value. So for example, if I get $1 of value, I'm interested in contributing at least $1.10, $1.50. And that works off-chain and on-chain. So off-chain, we're developing friendships and partnerships with consultants who will bring us to market. And not just D-Buzz, but the entire Hive community.
Awesome. I'm really excited about that. And so I also missed this. What's this about Hive being featured in a book written by Vitalik?
You didn't know about that?
No, I didn't know about that.
If I didn't know you didn't know about that, I would have bought like 20 books and brought it.
Well, no, I'm going to go look for one now.
It's called Proof of Staking. Do you remember when he wrote a blog post about the Steam hostile takeover?
I do. I remember.
It's called The Legitimacy of Blockchains or something like that. That was in his book. So he turned his blog into a book. And we're there. You can buy it as a soft copy.
So what you got to do is you got to get your social shopping website set up. You got to cull out all your best, coolest blockchain literary, selections. You put them into your social shopping website. You get your Amazon affiliate link, and we start selling everybody books talking about how cool Hive is. I got it. I see it. Not just a hat rack.
We've got a little problem, I think, with internet. Yeah, there is some issue. I think they got it there as well, but it's fine. It's recorded, so we will be back on track. Um, while I was out, actually, uh, I think not exactly at this exact moment. I don't know exactly how this works, but I think they record that in the background, and that will still continue. Yes, I think the it's this internet from the sky. You was talking about D-Bus, and you know who owns the internet from the sky? You know who owns it? That's it, right? That's it. Algorithms work. Yeah.
So our live, because we will be live again. Oh yeah.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Chris, actually, I will just say we probably seen each other online already, right? Before, right? I'm using D-Bus as well, right? It's very. The best thing about D-Bus is actually it's one of these D apps that are actually like fast. I can see that. It's like
The fast development, you see it consistently.
yes,
roll out
I
new
see
updates?
consistency, and I also see the speed of the app itself. Some of the apps are not like I can see. I put the post, I click the button, boom, the post is there. It's like
it's
literally Web 2 on Web 3.
With okay.
Okay. Okay.
Within a week, it will be twice as fast.
Twice as
We're-
fast.
we're within a week, because possibly even sooner, because we're rolling up our own Hive API, which we've determined is twice as fast. We're
so
just
you
waiting for it to
so you're
sync.
basically building inside of the Hive, inside of
We'll
the
have
Hive.
our own Hive API node instead of depending on third-party nodes, which are slower.
You make it clever. Yes, 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 yes. I can see you guys. Yeah. I can see also that Philippines got big crypto communities, and it's like the country that actually is like doing this.
And this is pointing it in a different direction. But do you know that people pay to create social networks? I've done it before. I paid. One of them is called. Have you heard of Boonix? Boonix.com.
No.
Ironically, it's called Dolphin. That's their front end. So people pay to build social networks. But on Hive, you don't have to pay. It's open source.
Yes.
But the question is, why aren't more people building social media networks on Hive? It's because not that many people are interested in starting a blogging platform. So once we open source D-Buzz in December 15th, there might be a plethora of new people joining Hive to start their own social media projects, and I'm going to be encouraging that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm also like interested about making my like own website. I can actually build on Hive as well. That
Good.
this is my home. You know, I think that might be very cool. And also, I want to go back. Yeah, Diba's got his pros and cons. You know how I know how it is to build this stuff, right? There's sometimes this problem. I got some issues with hashtags from time to time, but I know that you guys constantly. That's what I like, that you guys are constantly working on it. Like, and I'm definitely amazed about the speed of it. It's like I'm pretty sure that you got this question many times, but I will ask again. You guys are going to do the app itself, like the mobile app, or that's not
what
the
we're going to be doing, because
priority?
we're not interested in being beholden to Google Play Store or the iOS
I understand.
Store.
Yes.
But we're planning on making an app only for notifications. So that what will happen is you'll get the notifications through the mobile app, but when you click on it, it will direct you to a progressive web app. So we're turning the tables.
Yes.
Sorry. Gets you out of some of the things that you have to do to be able to get on Google Play Store or whatever. Because for those of you watching, some of the requirements for either Apple or Google are things like you must be able to delete your content, or, some things that aren't possible on Hive. And that's been a struggle for some of our dApps because of what they're meant to do. So that's a really clever way of doing it. You're utilizing that idea of people love mobile push notifications and still managing to, here it is, it's a portal, it'll push you where you need to go, it will open everything up, it'll look like it's an app, but it also won't use your phone's resources because you guys are building, obviously, that part of the website will be optimized for mobile. You're not going to be running something in the background, but you will be able to have visibility in the app stores. That's pretty clever. I'm genuinely really impressed. Some good ideas. Well done, you. Fantastic. So good. We're back live again. So for those of you who are catching back up, dropping in, dropping out, don't worry, because when you watch the replay will be uploaded and you'll be able to see everything that we were talking about in the middle there. So no FOMO, a little FOMO, but you'll have to do it later. So now Nathan is up there. He's going to be a little bit before he comes over here. We've covered a lot of ground. We talked about the books. I asked about education stuff because I know you guys have done a lot of focus in schools and in community groups. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? That's been crazy good outreach.
One of the things is, as I did say in the speech, is rumored that Facebook started on college campuses. And the idea is, in order to bring DBuzz and Hive to market, focus on market saturation in one niche. It's similar to Amazon starting off as books. They didn't start off selling everything. So we're going to primarily focus on we have more than one market, but one of them is schools.
Yes.
And Filipino schools.
Yep.
We have people who are very interested in mentoring young people. That includes our lead developer, Ashir.
Yep.
He'll be flying from Pakistan to Davao City.
Awesome.
And we also have Ed Umbao from philnews.xyz and formerly philnews.ph. And he's interested in really mentoring young people in how to become successful. And we're offering it free to schools. And they've been very enthusiastic.
Oh, I get it. And it makes a lot of sense because, whether we like it or not, this next generation, especially kids that are in school now, big kids, little kids, whatever level of schooling, they are mobile native, they are internet native, like their whole lives are this technology. I think so. It sounds like they're just answering questions, so he'll be over. Yeah, we can have a little group sesh. But yeah, so I mean, that makes so much sense. And I think for me, yes, and so this is something we haven't talked about yet, and it's not common knowledge, so live stream, scoop, is I am targeting an event in Dubai in 2024, and we've kind of talked about it a little bit, and obviously your guys' team, great fit to go. But one of the things that this event is going to be doing, and one of the reasons it's a great fit for us, is they will be targeting all the technical colleges and schools in Dubai.